All right, y'all. So now we're doing something different this week since we don't have ABC. We're gonna do our 2 minute warning. And this is basically how it's gonna go. I'm gonna ask everybody questions, and everybody is gonna get 2 minutes to answer, up to 2 minutes. And yeah, we just gonna rock with it. New segment. We gonna see how it works. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, for sure. All right. So question number one. Knowing what we know now about the NBA, who is y'all dark horse team?
The
Justin,
Heat.
you're on the clock.
No.
Hey, look at you jumping
Go
the
ahead.
gun. My dark horse team is the Toronto Raptors.
I like that.
Only because they have a better record at this point than they did with Kawhi last year. This seems like a much more complete team. You're seeing guys that you never heard of producing. I mean, Norman Powell stole the Player of the Week award away from Chris LeVert last week, but I mean, he put up 3 straight games where he was putting up 30. Boucher is out here killing. They got the new white dude Thomas that's just knocking down threes all the time.
Yep.
Not to mention Pascal is still doing Pascal things, and they still don't have Marc Gasol back yet. Sorry, not Siakam. Ibaka is playing out of his mind. I think with all the talk about Giannis and the Clippers and the Lakers and even the Nuggets, I mean, the Raptors are going to go in as a 2 seed, and I think they could. I don't think they will. They could.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's a chance that they take the Bucks to 7. If they get past the Bucks, I don't see why they can't beat the Lakers or the Clippers. They've played the Lakers tough this year. They played the Clippers tough this year.
They beat the Lakers.
Yeah, in LA.
In LA.
In LA. So hey, that's a dark. Nobody talking about them because there's no stars on the team. I mean, nobody cares about Kyle Lowry. I mean, I think a lot of people don't like Kyle Lowry.
Star anyway. Pascal is.
Pascal is a budding star. So hey.
I like that. I like that pick a lot. As I said earlier, I'm going with the Heat. Yeah, I love it, and that's one. I just like everything. I love everything about the Heat right now. But the reason I'm going to go with the Heat is similar to why you're going with the Raptors, just because they have players to match up, and like I said before, Bam on Giannis is a matchup. That's a matchup right there.
Yep.
He held him to 13 points. What was it? 13 and like 15 or some shit like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Some Andre Drummond stat.
Dude, he's legit. Like, they're built properly. They got they made the trade for the veterans. And, dude, Jimmy is a dog. And because the players are young, come playoff time, who's going to have it, what's going to happen. But then he still does have playmakers. Duncan Robinson shooting great. Like, Eric Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the league and has shown it. So, again, the same situation where it's like, I don't know if they'll be able to beat the Bucks, but it'll be a good-ass series.
And mind you, they're getting back some of their guys, too, that have been hurt. Tyler Harrow's been hurt. He's coming back. Myers Leonard still has to come back. So
I like the way the Heat's set up. I love that Bam on Giannis matchup, and he's one of the few people who can actually kind of stay with him. So I'm with it. That's my dark horse team.
Okay. All right, John, you're probably gonna like this. I'm gonna go away from the Eastern Conference. I'm gonna go for the West right now. I'm gonna rock with the Mavericks surprisingly. And I know they're a 7 seed, and I know that right now in terms of the depth in the West, I don't know.
7 and 4 is only like 2 games in between.
For sure. So, I mean, if anything, if they move up, depending on what that matchup is, they've played a lot of the top tier teams tough this year. And you can see that the growth in Luka from last year going into this year, overall has just been great. And now Porzingis is starting to become more of the
hooping. Western Conference Player of the Week the other week.
Exactly. And you saw what he did against the Pelicans, and he was wilding on Zion, who's been probably the most dominant player in the NBA since he's came back from injury. I think top to bottom, I was very surprised at seeing how well they meshed together, especially with Tim Hardaway Jr. killing the way that he's been killing. You also got Seth Curry that's there that, some days he be on, some days he be off, but he overall has been reliable this year. I think John can agree with that. And you got a championship head coach in Rick Carlisle. So for sure, I think
love to hear it.
I think for sure that I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavericks upset one of those 3 or those 4 seeds going in, and then they play the Lakers they play the Lakers in the semifinals. Who knows what could happen?
Hey, I said it before. The only teams I'm worried about are the 2 LA teams matchup wise in the West. But again, if y'all did not watch that Pelicans Mavs games, y'all missed out.
No, I did.
That
Sure.
was a
No, I did.
game.
That was a game. I did.
Yo, if I'm telling y'all, the Mavs are must see TV.
Yep.
Legit. If it's national TV, I'll be watching streams, But if it's national TV, I should definitely check it out.
Yep.
Fun ass games to watch, man.
All right. Time for the next question.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna shift from NBA to NFL. Where do you guys think Tom Brady goes? John, you can start this one.
Raiders. I said this way before.
Yeah.
I've been saying this. Gruden being Gruden, it's basically a new franchise if you want to consider because they're moving. He can go out and be the star. He's in Vegas. Like he'll get paid. Like I feel like that's the place that that's it. Like that's the place I most likely see him going. I don't think the Chargers take him. I think they would go with Bridgewater more so. But
Interesting.
yeah, I'm going Raiders. I think it just seems like a very Gruden move.
Okay. Not mad at it. Justin.
Yeah, I was thinking Raiders. I'll go Chargers on the premise of, he just moved a production company out in LA.
He lives in LA anyway.
Same thing. Braun did that too. Braun went to LA. They got some pieces over on the Chargers. They got Magabosa. At least one of the Magabosas.
One of them,
Yeah. The less Magabosa.
the older one.
They just re-upped Austin Eckler,
Mhm.
right? They had a pretty decent, some decent pieces on defense. Hey, and hey, maybe he wants another a crack at taking down Mahomes 2 times a year.
See, I think he would want to stay as far away from Mahomes as possible, which is why I think that he's going to stay on the Patriots. Now, I understand that all of this drama surrounding it. It seems like it's crazy how Tom Brady is going to be a free agent for his first time in his career. But what team will want their quarterback, their Hall of Fame quarterback, and obviously the greatest quarterback of all time, would let him just walk in free agency? Now, while I don't think they're going to throw him $35 million, I think they're going to do what they did in the past and give him a contract where it's like, all right, whatever, we're going to give you this, but this is because we need to sign people in order to be a championship team and a championship contender because we got to pay other people. And to be honest, nowhere else really makes sense to me. Everybody's thinking Tennessee is gonna re-sign them, but honestly, I think Tannehill played his way into the starter role, and I think that the players that are there are used to Tannehill and respect him because he was the reason why, regardless of what he did in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, he led them to the playoffs, which is something that was very unexpected, and nobody really thought that they would even get to the AFC Championship. So basically, everywhere else, I could see the Raiders. And I could also see the Chargers, especially because they move forward from Phillip Rivers. But I feel like the Chargers are going to end up drafting a quarterback, and who knows what's going to happen with Derek Carr. So that's what I'm rocking with.
I'm not mad at that. I heard the last thing they were saying is that the league is more so with Tom than with Belichick, which I think is wild.
Yep. I mean, go figure. I mean, not that it's a players' league, but I feel like everybody
It's
not. But everybody. I don't know. Man, I feel like Belichick definitely gets his respect, but this is Tom Brady though. At 40, who is able to do what he's doing at 43? But yeah, I mean, hey, shit, you're right. But even so, he still did better than majority of the quarterbacks in the league, which is like that's saying so much. But all right, we kind of spoke about this earlier a little bit. But do you guys believe that the Washington Redskins should draft a quarterback?
No,
For sure. Justin,
Yeah, big NO right there.
big NO.
Yeah, big NO.
it's just a waste.
It's a waste.
Yeah, it's a waste of a pick.
You have a superstar right there for the taking in Chase Young.
So
Take him.
So my only argument to that is you don't think Tua is going to be a superstar. Who's more likely to pan out as a superstar, Tua or?
I trust Chase Young to be Chase Young more than I trust the Redskins to build a
Tua?
competent team
That's fair.
around Tua.
That's fair.
That makes sense.
'Cause you- as a
Chase Young can dominate on his own.
On his own.
As a quarterback, you need to have some other things to help you dominate.
They got my son Terry McLaurin, and then they got what's it called, a homie that can't stay healthy.
You also need an offensive coordinator,
do?
all this
Offensive
other
line.
stuff.
But you also got a head coach that he's coached to the Super Bowl before, Ron Rivera. So I mean, the competency, I feel like they're going in the Snyders, they're going in the right direction.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So is it Snyder's like Snyder's pretzels?
I don't
I
think so.
don't think so.
I don't
I'm
think so.
saying it's a different.
Yeah, I think it's a different thing. All right, but let me answer the question. Should the Redskins draft a quarterback? Yes, I believe that they should. I believe that the way that it should go is that the Bengals are obviously going to draft Joe Burrow, but right after that, I think they should draft Tua because my whole mindset is teams didn't hesitate to draft. The Cardinals didn't hesitate to draft Kyler Murray a year after drafting Josh Rosen to know what he has. Meanwhile, it's like how could you skip over a generational prospect? And I get it because Chase Young Chase Young is gonna be good wherever he goes. But at the same time, what's gonna really take you to that next level? Is it gonna be an edge rusher? Or is it gonna be a quarterback? I don't know. I feel like the Redskins right now they have some offensive pieces, and if you throw Tua in that mix, who could be a superstar in this league? I don't know. Shout out the lefties though, real life. All right, next question. So this is more of a philosophical kind of question for you guys, okay? So the MVP award across all sports, do y'all believe that it should be given to the best player on the best team or actually the most valuable player?
Best player doesn't have to be best team, but record does come into play.
Okay.
It shouldn't be given to someone who's just balling out on a bad team. We've made the empty stats argument on this podcast. And like JT said before, it's a difference between most valuable and then just like one of the best players because Trae Young would be probably the most valuable player in the league. The Hawks would have like 3 wins. So I feel like that's definitely what ties into it. Part of the reason why you are the most valuable is that you help your team win. That's the big thing. And I think that it should never be given to a player with a losing record.
So, all right, I'm just going across all 4 major sports right now. So, Mike Trout winning the MVP award. So that you're saying that argument applies in baseball as well.
Yeah, because literally, if we keep it, he's just gonna win like almost every year. Like, and that's what it. And I feel like I don't know how hockey does it, but like I feel like with the baseball, that's the only one who just does it to like the most talented player, like best player like that. Because if we've been doing it that way, LeBron would have like 8.
For sure. I think well, actually, yeah, I'll go next. Sorry, JT. Personally, I feel like the award should go to the actual person that's most valuable. And when it comes to valuability, record definitely does play a role. It definitely does play a role in that. But I don't necessarily like the Trae Young argument just because it's like, all right, the team is bad already. So I think that when you're talking about what value actually is, it has to translate to some form of wins. Now, in the NBA, for example, we haven't really seen an MVP win like outside of being a top 3 seed, outside of Russell Westbrook. That was probably one of the first times in the NBA that we've ever seen that. Now, baseball, the award is kind of skewed. It does not go to the best player on the best team because obviously the Mike Trout argument comes into effect. Now, I think it also depends on what you deem as valuable. Me personally, what I deem as valuable is winning games, but also having the stats to back that up. Now, stats sometimes can be empty. I do agree with that, but sometimes they don't lie. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Russell Westbrook winning the MVP. Some people may be like, he didn't really deserve it. But imagine what that 6-seeded team, which if they won another game, they probably would have been a 2 or 3 seed, what they would have done without him doing what he did that season. So, yeah.
JT?
Yeah, I think it's hard. Sometimes it is hard. I think it does. For the most part, it should be the best player on the best team because usually, like 95% of the time, the best player on the best team is usually one of the best players in the league already. You know, of course, you have like your outliers, like the Hawks team from a few years ago, where they
had no true star.
There was no true star, but they were a great team. You know, it's hard to encapsulate individual performances in team sports. But yeah, most of the time it should go to the best player on the best team. There are outlying circumstances like Westbrook's triple-double year. You know, obviously that's a crazy accomplishment,
right?
But if that team had a losing record, I don't think he would have won it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And then to your point with Mike Trout, I mean, Mike Trout has arguably been the best player overall, pitcher, position player, regardless, in baseball for the past 3 years. But his team is bad, and it sucks for Mike Trout. I think on a baseball level because he can be the best player. He can only do so much. He can't hit the. He can only hit the ball 4 times a game, right? All the balls don't get hit to him. He can't pitch, so he's at the mercy of what his team does around him, which I think is pretty unfair. He's not touching the ball as much as someone in basketball, like a LeBron, like a James Harden, like a Giannis. So he doesn't have a direct impact on winning as much.
Yep.
But in terms of the NBA, I think there's just been too much flip floppy. Like, remember the year that Kobe got his stolen from him, right?
Yep.
That was a Steve Nash second
he
one,
gave
right?
Steve Nash second one. Steve Nash was the best player on a really, really great Suns team. Kobe was averaging 35. So I don't know. I think it's a case by case basis. Like I do agree with John. It should never go to a player with a losing record, even if he's averaging 40 points. But
Time.
Thanks for thought.
Say no.
I didn't even get the 15-minute warning. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no.
Wait, 15-minute.
All right, last question, and this is more of like a yes or no question. And to put this into perspective, so Aaron Judge and Giancarlo over under 200 games combined this season. So to put this into perspective, last season they played 118 games combined. The season before they played 256 games combined.
Like, you say combined?
Combined. So like,
both of them playing, or just the total games?
The total games that
of each player.
No. I mean, they can't play 200
So like
games
if
by
Judge
themselves.
plays
No,
like
I mean, like,
95,
yeah.
And then State
Giancarlo
plays
like 100.
1 to 6. Like, yeah, that would
Okay.
be over 200.
Okay.
I'm taking the under.
I will.
That's stress fracture.
I will also go under.
I will take the under. I will say that combined, I think Aaron Judge will probably. I'll say Aaron Judge might play like half the season. I'll say he plays like 90 games, but Giancarlo, I don't know.
I'm partially argument's sake. I'll go over just because the new training staff with Giancarlo.
Yep.
I don't think Judge is going to play that many though. I hope he plays at least half the season. We're going to see how the stress fracture goes, but I feel like Giancarlo, it's not going to be like even.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So that's it for the segment.
That's it for the segment.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was cool.
Yeah, different.
So with that, we're pretty much done with this week's episode. We told you guys no anime book club this week because we didn't expect Miles to end up being here. Shout out Corona. Yeah, so we're gonna go back with anime book club next week. We are starting Elfen Lied, and I guess we'll just do 3 episodes like normal. So yeah, check that out. Get ready for next week for anime book club. Start all over again. This is another one that none of us have seen, so it should be fun. And we're going to leave you guys after we sign out with just another little piece. It's kind of just a random conversation we had before we started about Cheesecake Factory and Jimmy's and other shit. So, John, signing out. We will talk to y'all next week.
For sure. Y'all know the vibes. Domestic West in the building. Fuck this coronavirus shit, but you know what? I'm here. Wouldn't rather be anywhere else in the world. Peace.
You guys know the deal. Tip your bartenders. Stop speaking on my team. And when my team wins in the next 3 years, I promise you, I will be insufferable.
3 years.
3. That's the window for the next 3 years. That's what they got.
Cash him outside. How about that?
Appreciate y'all. Follow us at Saratobi Sports everywhere. Follow Matt at Regrown Recordings. Again, if you guys need a studio on Long Island, pull up. He'd be holding it down. He'd be having lights and shit, changing the mood. It's great. It's a good time.
It's free parking.
Yeah.
Free parking.
Oh, I thought you were
Big
going to
facts.
say it's freaky, but
Freaky parking too.
Free.
Hey, man. What y'all trying to get into?
Wait, huh? Hey. Yeah.
God.
Wait,
But
wait,
yeah,
now,
no,
since-
for real. If you guys need a studio, check him out. He really holds it down. He knows what he's doing. Appreciate it.